Training room. At night, the neighborhood streets lie empty and silent as if the world has gently settled to rest beneath the glow of the moon. Yet, in the Murphy Rock studio at the end of the street, within a room separated by soundproofing panels, there is a powerful force seeping and radiating through the air. After the sound of the hi-hat on the first three beats, Luke turns to the 20-inch tom drum and a series of skilled drum beats rings out, filling the night with its unique energy. At this moment, he is playing a piece titled Midsummer Bonfire, a song with a lively and passionate rhythm overflowing with youthful vitality. And with Luke's improvisational changes, the lively beats on the snare drum brings a burst of brightness as if a group of young people are laughing together. This should be the best version he's rearranged recently. As you stand there thinking, you lean against the wall not far away, your feet gently tapping to the beat. Because of what happened before, Luke also taught you some basic jazz drumming techniques. Whenever you have free time, you two will arrange to meet at this studio to practice. With a few resounding beats from the bass drum, the music finally reaches its conclusion. As the finale approaches, Luke strikes the drumsticks with both hands, the sharp sound of the wooden sticks cutting through the rhythm while the lingering resonance vibrates the air. Immediately, you clap your hands and walk forward, looking at the young man who seems to have just returned from a youthful celebration with excitement and satisfaction. It's amazing! It seems that Luke has just noticed your arrival. He quickly takes off his headphones and there is a hint of surprise in his gaze.
언제 왔어? 온 줄 몰랐어.
You've been immersed in the world of music all this time, so I didn't want to disturb you. You take out a tissue to wipe the sweat from his forehead, then pull out a small bottle of water from your bag and place it next to him. That last section with the snare drum adaptation was simply amazing. It's the best version I've ever heard.
그렇다니까 노력한 보람이 있네. 사실 그 부분은 어제 생각해낸 거야.
Perhaps because he had exerted a lot of energy and sweat during the earlier performance, Luke eagerly twists open the water bottle and takes a few large sips before reaching out to open the sheet music and hand it to you.
원래는 모닥불 옆에서 노는 소년들이 열광하는 모습을 베이스 드럼으로 표현한 거거든. 그걸 스네어 드럼으로 바꾸면 손동작도 여유롭게 할 수 있고 또
It also downplays the competitiveness and shifts the focus to the lively and joyous atmosphere among the boys. Right?
바로 그거야. 역시 우리 왓슨. 음악을 제대로 알고 있네.
I'm not that amazing, it's just that I've listened to your performance a lot. Although Luke usually always supports you in such a casual way, receiving such direct praise still makes you a bit embarrassed and you shyly glance at the sheet music. The paper of the sheet music is still very new, but the markings made with different colored bands fill up the blank spaces. After all, he really spent a lot of time and effort to perform this piece well. Looking at those notes, you can't help but recall a scene from last weekend at home. That afternoon, with the rain pouring steadily, you bring some groceries and drinks back home. Look, I bought some snacks. How about we play a game together?
1, 2, 3. 아니야, 3박자가 빠르잖아.
At that moment, Luke is leaning by the window with headphones on, one hand holding the sheet music while the fingertips of his other hand gently tap to the beat.
역시 스네어 드럼이 낫겠어. 근데 바로 베이스 드럼으로 이어지면 소리가 부족할 것 같은데. 아니면 심벌로 바꿔볼까?
Looks like he's facing a tough problem. The rain outside pours relentlessly, its drops tapping against the glass in a chaotic rhythm, yet with the headphones on, Luke's rhythm remains steady and unaffected. As he repeatedly tweaks, experiments, and simulates new rhythms, Luke suddenly pauses his fingers as if an idea has come to him in that moment.
아, 이렇게 하면
In this dimly lit little world, the music and inspiration spark the flickering flame in his gaze. Better not disturb him for now. I hope he'll be satisfied with the result of this attempt. Seeing him so immersed in it, you smile knowingly and gently close the door behind you. You've been studying this piece for the past 2 months, so it seems like you really love this song.
당연하지. 손태율 선생님이 직접 만드신 대회곡이거든.
Mr. Spencer,
응, 엄청 유명한 음악 프로듀서이자 국내 최고의 재즈 드러머야. 그분이 만든 여름 시리즈 곡이 있는데 다 너무 좋거든.
as he speaks, Luke slowly moves closer to you, reaching out to touch the notes he wrote himself. Though your eyes don't meet, you can still imagine the eager gaze that lingers in the warm atmosphere. Summer and bonfires. The warmth of the past only briefly surfaces in your mind before Luke suddenly recalls something and interrupts your thoughts.
아, 손태율 선생님 하니까 생각났는데 이것 좀 봐봐.
What is it? Luke turns and rummages through the storage compartment behind the drum set, finally pulling out a colorful flyer and handing it to you.
아마추어 듀엣 재즈 드럼 대회인데 주최 측이 여기 모피트락 작업실의 사장님이야. 이번에는 혼자 신청한 사람이 대부분이고 2인 팀이 거의 없어서 팀 수를 다 못 채울 수도 있나 봐. 그래서 사장님이 듀엣으로 참가해달라고 부탁하셨는데 어때? 같이 해볼래?
You mean we signed up for this competition together? Wait. You quickly skim through the contents of the sign-up sheet and widen your eyes in surprise. I've only just started learning, and even if it's an amateur competition, aren't my skills still far from enough?
괜찮아. 이런 아마추어 대회는 참가하는 데 의미가 있는 거지.
That's true, but you're not afraid of challenges, but to enter a competition like this right after just starting out, looks like you'll need more than just courage. As if seeing through your unease, Luke quietly cheers you on.
듀엣은 단순히 기술보다는 팀이 음악을 잘 이해하고 있는지를 크게 봐. 게다가 넌 재능도 있어서 이번 경험을 쌓으면 기술적으로 한 단계 더 발전할 수 있을 거야. 그리고 이번 대회에 같이 참가하자고 하는 건 내 욕심도 있어.
A selfish reason?
이거야.
He flips the sign-up sheet over and points to the section for the final round's composition. The name listed as the composer is none other than Mr. Spencer. The same Mr. Spencer who you mentioned earlier is going to provide the sheet music for the finals.
맞아. 우리가 같이 결승전에 올라가면 야외 광장에서 손태율 선생님의 신곡을 연주하게 될 수도 있어. 그런 행운이 생기면 오랜 소원을 이룬 거나 다름없겠지?
You put down the sign-up sheet and can't help but reach out to ruffle Luke's hair. He is usually so accustomed to fulfilling any of your needs, big or small, yet rarely does he show such desire. Perhaps it's because you cannot resist the look of such anticipation in his eyes. Your earlier unease completely fades away, replaced by the courage to face everything. Since you put it that way, I guess I have to give it my best effort too. Overall, you worked so hard for Mr. Spencer's music, and I'm looking forward to seeing how his new piece turns out.
걱정 마. 대회 규모가 크진 않아도 선생님은 국내 재즈 드럼 대회를 그냥 넘어가신 적이 없거든. 이번에 나올 신곡은 절대 실망하지 않을 거야.
Yeah, I think so too. Although you don't have enough knowledge or understanding of Mr. Spencer, perhaps it's because of the emotion brought on by his piece, Midsummer Bonfire, that you also have complete trust in his abilities.
그럼 가서 대회 신청하는 사이트를 찾아볼게. 내용을 제출하고 나면 첫 라운드 준비를 시작할 수 있을 거야.
Sure. Training room. When he opens the registration system on the tablet, the first thing that pops up is the confirmation page for the competition rules.
면책 조항?
Explaining the rules before the registration page is definitely necessary to avoid any legal disputes.
그렇구나. 변호사랑 참가하니까 이런 것도 알게 되네.
Knowing that Luke is teasing on purpose, you smile and nudge his shoulder. It's just a rules page. Hurry up and take a look at the contents. Luke also chuckles and slowly begins reading through the key rules.
매 라운드가 시작되기 전 같은 곡을 뽑은 팀끼리 경쟁하며 각각 연주 대결을 펼쳐 점수를 매긴다.
These are pretty standard rules, but instead of playing recorded tracks, is this competition inviting live bands to perform music? Since it's an amateur competition organized by an individual, the number of participating teams isn't excessive. But it is quite a feat to have gathered this many live music bands in one place.
근데 이건 어쩔 수 없어.
Huh? Why not?
최근에 페스티벌이나 콘서트에서 립싱크 사건들이 많았잖아.
I know about lip syncing, but isn't this a jazz competition? Jazz drum competition? What does that have to do with lip syncing?
좀 자신 없는 사람들이 전에 대회에서 핸드싱크를 했나 보더라고.
Fake drumming? A term beyond your comprehension unexpectedly appears, leaving you dumbfounded. But how can you fake drumming with a drum set?
사실 나도 잘은 모르는데 전에 누가 무대 각도를 이용해서 관중이 못 보는 사각지대를 골랐었대. 그리고 미리 숨겨둔 스피커로 녹음한 드럼 소리를 재생한 거야. 근데 현장에서 쓴 드럼도 찢어진 거라 열정적으로 연주하는 것 같아 보여도 실은 소리가 안 나는 거였던 거지.
That doesn't seem like a very sophisticated trick.
그치? 그때 대회에 드럼 스폰서가 무대 앞에 앉아 있었는데 듣자마자 음색이 다른 걸 알고 바로 신고했다고 들었어. 그 일 때문에 드럼 대회도 이런 부분은 더 신경 쓰게 됐지.
I can't believe there's such a thing. People are really hard to figure out. Fortunately, the organizers recognized this issue and made efforts to address it. It seems the fairness of the competition can be ensured for now. Not dwelling too long on this matter, you and Luke quickly move on to look at other competition details. Finally, after confirming all the rules, the page brings you to the information entry form. A team name and logo.
전에 다른 팀이 신청한 걸 봤는데 진지한 것보다는 장난스러운 느낌이었어. 뭐 떠오르는 거 있어?
I need to think about it.
괜찮아. 급할 거 없어. 나도 생각해 볼게. 팀 이름이랑 로고는 오래 쓸 거니까 우리 마음에 드는 걸 골라야지.
Training room. After careful consideration, you submit the registration information. Immediately afterwards, Luke goes to draw the first round's competition piece.
다행히 어려운 곡은 아닌데 음악에 대한 이해를 시험할 수 있는 곡이야. 이걸로 대회를 시작하면 우리한테 꽤 유리해.
Alright, I'll start with this piece and try to catch up with everyone. You roll up your sleeves and take the drumsticks from Luke's hand. When you look up again, your gaze is filled with determination. Well then, let's start practicing. Competition venue. I can't believe I played to the wrong rhythm in the final section. Due to your mistake during the performance, you lose this round to the opponents and don't earn any points. Don't be discouraged, this is just the beginning. You were just too nervous. Seeing you nervously wringing your hands, Luke slips his drumsticks into his pockets and comes over to wipe the sweat on your forehead. Moreover, the technical part of this piece are almost all in the last section. It's not easy to perform it perfectly. Luke, you're sweating already. Let's take a break first. After thinking for a moment, you shake your head and look at Luke seriously. No, this piece will be played again later. While I'm still in the groove, I need to practice a bit more. If I don't fill in the gaps now, I'm afraid I'll make the same mistakes again. Okay, I'll help out too. Since there are no extra practice drum kits available at the competition venue, Luke gets up and goes to find a practice pad. The mistake just now was in the second to last section. Let me think. Start again from this section and give it another try. I'll take a look and see where the problem lies. Okay. After handing you the drumsticks, Luke leans beside you, intently watching the movements of your hands. You take a deep breath and begin playing with full concentration. Replaying the segment where you made the mistake earlier, you don't repeat the same error, but the performance still doesn't quite meet expectations. Luke ponders for a moment and also comes up empty. I still feel that the technique in the final section is a bit stiff. Maybe the rebound isn't quite smooth enough yet. But it seems a bit hard to improve on these details in such a short time. How about trying the push-pull technique instead? While you are talking, a woman's voice interrupts the conversation. You look in the direction of the voice, and to your surprise, your earlier opponent walks over. The female drummer smiles and gestures to you with a pushing and pulling motion. Since you're just starting to practice jazz drumming, the push-pull movement is simpler than the rebound, making it easier to master. Why not give it a try? It should work really well. I'll try. Following the motion demonstrated by the female drummer earlier, You try again. The result, as she said, is much better than the technique you used before. This really works, thank you. No problem, it's only a small matter. Glancing at her watch, the female drummer waves her hand at you, seemingly heading off to the next competition. We might end up being opponents later, let's both do our best. After watching her leave, you speak up, feeling a bit touched. I didn't expect to meet such a passionate drummer. Now the problem is solved. Yeah, after all, we're all just music enthusiasts. It's also a good thing that we can grow together. Luke stretches and smiles at you. Our next round of the competition is about to start. Let's get ready. Okay.
표현할 수 있을까?
Training room. The first day of the competition finally ends. Although you both do a lot of preparation for it, the final result is a narrow victory, advancing by just a 2-point lead. And there's still a huge gap between us and the first group. It seems unrealistic to catch up in a short amount of time. Back in the studio's soundproof room, you slump onto the drum stool, feeling a bit discouraged as you stretch your sore and numb arms. Looks like even in an amateur competition, my basics are still no match for those enthusiasts.
안 그래. 오늘 이 정도 한 것도 대단한 거야. 다들 아마추어여도 너보다는 일찍 시작한 사람들이잖아. 그리고 곡 마지막에 했던 실수도 금방 고칠 수 있는 거야.
Placing 2 bottles of chilled soda next to you, Luke walks straight to your side, naturally lifting your arms and then taking your hands in his.
봐봐. 여기 박자는 이 느낌이야. 그리고 왼쪽부터
Wait, I'm falling behind.
그럼 천천히 박자를 다 분석해보자.
After Luke slowly guides your hands to play a round of rhythms on the tom drum, he rests the last note on the crash cymbal. The original fast-paced rhythm is broken down into slow, clear beats. After watching the demonstration twice, you gradually grasp the key elements. So, these 6 beats aren't evenly distributed across each drum surface.
잘 이해했어. 여기가 좀 복잡하긴 한데 두드릴 때 네가 마음속으로 박자 수를 알고 있어야 해. 막 배우기 시작한 사람들은 악보에 박자가 많은 걸 보면 당황해서 박자 수랑 치는 횟수가 안 맞을 수 있어. 근데 리듬감만 잘 잡아두면 나중에 실수할 일은 없을 거야.
I'll try again. After making an effort to recall the musical details in your mind, you tap your feet to the rhythm, take a deep breath, and time your entry perfectly. You're not sure if it's because of Luke's analysis that improved your familiarity with the sheet music or if you finally grasped the rhythm techniques he mentioned. In this trial round, you actually managed to reach the level that Luke guides you to into the first round.
잘했어. 바로 이거지. 다음 대회 때 이렇게만 하면 좀 더 높은 점수를 딸 수 있을 거야.
Isn't it because you taught me well? Finally overcoming a challenge, you happily take the open chilled drink from Luke's hand. But as soon as you remember the competition rules, the joy quickly fades, replaced by a chill similar to the coolness of the drink. Unfortunately, we'll have to draw a new song for the next round. There's no time for us to practice and improve on the song from the first round.
기초를 다지는 건 좋은데 네 말대로 일단은 다음 라운드 때 쓸 곡을 뽑아야겠어.
Unlocking the tablet, Luke simply sits beside you on the same stool. After pressing the randomizer, he turns the tablet screen toward you, excitedly making guesses.
이번에는 어떤 노래가 걸릴까? 초보가 하기 편한 거면 좋겠는데.
What's the matter? Seeing the sudden change in his expression, you lean in curiously to take a look. Unsurprisingly, it's a song you're completely unfamiliar with. What's wrong with this song?
역시 이 불운의 손으로 이걸 누르는 게 아니었어.
Huh?
이게 아마 아마추어 대회에서 가장 까다로운 곡일 거야. 건너뛰는 박자도 많고 타격이 고르지 않은데 노래도 평범하거든. 처음에 드럼 배울 때 이런 걸 연습한 적이 있었는데 그때가 유일하게 드럼을 포기하고 싶을 때였지.
Is it really that difficult? A piece that even Luke can't manage to tackle is undoubtedly an unsolvable challenge for you. But seeing Luke almost on the verge of pulling his hair out, you quickly comfort him by patting his back. Don't worry, the conditions are the same for our opponents as well. Either way, we need to practice. Let's just do our best during the preparation and don't focus too much on the outcome. Besides, I don't think it's a dead end.
무슨 좋은 생각이라도 있어?
It may not be a good idea, but I just remembered, this competition probably also encourages improvisation, right? You tap the sheet music on the screen with your fingertip and look at Luke with confidence. Since the mood of the piece itself is quite neutral, why not focus on the improvisational section and make it stand out more? This part should be what you're best at, right?
그러면 되겠네.
Luke's eyes light up as he nods firmly.
규칙을 보니까 악보랑 10% 이상 차이가 나지 않는 선에서 대회가 시작하기 24시간 전에 제출해서 심사받으면 된대. 그럼 이번에는 10%로 승부를 내보자.
You got this. Quickly determining a new direction and strategy, you both immediately throw yourselves into the next round of practice.
이렇게 바꾸면 분명 좋아할 거야.
Competition venue. In the new round of competition, due to the opponent's outstanding improvisation, you fall slightly behind in the technical score. I didn't expect such high-level performances in an amateur competition. I feel like their skills could be good enough for commercial performances. That's the power of jazz drumming enthusiasts. You shake your head helplessly and take out your phone to search on a video streaming site. Seeing you focus on the phone screen, Luke seems a little worried that you might become discouraged and cautiously leans over. No mistakes, and the emotional expression was also great. Don't be discouraged, you played outstandingly. Don't worry, it's just one round of the competition. I'm not discouraged. After gaining some competition experience, you find that adjusting your mindset becomes much smoother. Therefore, being slightly behind in points doesn't affect you much. Rather than dwelling on the failure, you prefer to immediately review and identify the gaps between you and your opponent. Look, the organizers have already uploaded the footage of the last performance to the website. I want to take another look at the opponent's technique from earlier and try to learn from it. Haha, that's a good idea. If we can master their techniques and apply them in future competitions, it should make us stand out more. When it comes to technique, Luke is clearly excited as well, and he squeezes beside you to watch the footage together. Fortunately, the techniques used by the opponent aren't too difficult, so learning them isn't hard. However, for playing the drums, learning a technique, mastering it, and then performing it skillfully are steps that are akin to crossing a chasm. I feel like applying this technique in the competition is still a bit difficult for me. Yeah, especially the part after the cross-handed 4-stroke roll. It will take me quite a while to master it too. Let me think. After a moment of contemplation, Luke suddenly snaps his fingers and his eyes light up. Got it. Let me modify this move. Huh? Can this also be modified? Of course, after all, it's just a performance technique. For us, the most important thing is not to replicate the technique but to make it our own. Looks like you're confident, huh? I'll be looking forward to seeing how you will modify it, Mr. Pierce. Leave it to me. Luke glances at his phone as he speaks, noting that there are just a few minutes left before the new schedule is announced. Soon, it's time for you two to start preparing for the next round of the competition. No matter how strong our next opponents are, for this round of preparation, I'll make sure our technique improves even further. Training room. Thanks to your hard work, you successfully advanced to the next round of the competition, closing the gap with the leading teams. However, due to the psychological impact of the last round's music selection, Luke is adamant that he is not pressing the randomizer this time.
일단 당장은 내 운을 믿고 싶지 않아. 이번에는 너한테 맡길게. 행운의 여신은 항상 네 편이었잖아.
Alright, let me try my luck this time. You rub your hands together before carefully pressing the draw button, leaving behind a faint trace of warmth from your palms. The song titles on the screen quickly scroll by. As it starts to slow down, you and Luke instinctively widen your eyes and lean forward toward the screen.
3, 2, 1. 멈췄어. 어디 보자. 우와, 석기 시대야. 잘했어.
Huh, is this song easy? Seeing Luke almost jump out of his seat while holding the tablet, you can't help but look at him in confusion. He just smiles, shakes his head, and without saying anything, opens the song details and gestures for you to look at the staff section. The composer is Lionel Spencer. Do you mean that, Mr. Spencer?
맞아. 손태율 선생님의 곡을 뽑았어.
Whoa! Before you can react, Luke lifts you from your seat, spins you around, and then hugs you, overflowing with excitement. Seeing that he seems a bit too excited, you hold back a laugh and gently pat his back, reminding him that the competition hasn't started yet. You're so happy just because we got one of Mrs. Spencer's pieces. What if we make it to the finals and get to perform Mrs. Spencer's new piece? I can't even imagine how happy you'd be by then.
그러면 진짜 꿈에서도 웃을지도 몰라.
Luke laughs as he lets go of you and scratches his head.
근데 앞에 한두 곡에 비하면 이건 무난하고 안정적이야.
So, will it be easier to practice than the previous pieces?
그건 잘 모르겠네. 선생님의 곡을 대회곡으로 봤을 때 가장 매력적인 점은 연주자가 감정이입을 제대로 하느냐에 달려있다는 거야.
Empathy doesn't mean the emotional expression has to match the composers.
맞아. 감정을 제대로 표현하면 보통 멋있게 연주할 수 있는데 반대면 진짜 평범해지거든.
Is that so? What Luke says is easy to understand, but when you click to listen to the music on the interface, you realize that achieving perfect empathy is not as simple as it seems. This piece doesn't seem to evoke the same empathy in me as Midsummer Bonfire did. The imagery conveyed by the Stone Age feels more like the vast western grasslands. You can imagine the scene, but you don't quite feel the beats and rhythm.
괜찮아. 사실 나도 이 노래가 크게 와닿는 건 아니야. 이 곡을 음악적으로 완벽하게 연출하는 건 쉽지 않겠지만 나한테 다른 방법이 있어.
Luke flips through the sheet music and points to a section in the middle that looks particularly difficult to play.
이 부분은 고난도 기술이 필요한데 제대로 연주만 하면 난이도 면에서 점수를 많이 받을 수 있을 거야. 마침 기회가 생겼으니까 내가 가르쳐 줄게. 우리가 또 진출하게 되면 이 기술이 큰 도움이 될 거야.
That would be perfect. As the competition reaches this stage, you gradually start to look further ahead. At this moment, you certainly won't refuse any opportunity for improvement. Then let's start practicing right away, Mr. Pierce.
좋았어. 이 노래를 들을 때마다 그때가 생각나.
Competition venue. Next, we can change up the improvisation part of our performance too. Hahaha. Go ahead and laugh. The performance earlier really did have great showmanship. I also really liked their interpretation. Seeing that Luke is still savoring the last round of the competition, you can't help but chuckle. During the competition, your opponents inserted a rather amusing improvisation into their performance. Not only did they use many references from jazz music, but they also perfected the interactive effect of dual drumming. After watching their performance, I learned a lot. After all, it's a jazz drumming competition, and the performance atmosphere is really important. That's right, their performance has exceeded the scope of an amateur competition. It's truly a high-level performance. Seeing all the standard performances, the judges are more prone to aesthetic fatigue than the competitors. The way the competitors reinterpreted the piece not only heated up the atmosphere but also gave the judges a fresh take on the music. So that's why their scores ended up much higher. Saying that, Luke takes out your music sheet and begins to study it carefully. Are you going to revise the performance plan like they did? Not really. I just want to double check if there are any flaws in our plan. Luke quickly skims through the performance plan before closing it again and putting it back into his bag. Then he smiles and looks at you. They made those changes because it aligned with their own style. They've always been into humor. Such unconventional techniques aren't something we have to force ourselves to learn if we are not good at them. Besides, we didn't lose because of technique. In a competition like this, staying true to our own style is more important. That's true. The music sheet Luke and you work on together certainly reflects your unique understanding of the piece. Losing a round in a small competition isn't something that should make you change your style just for a minor victory. After After all, we have our own pursuits. If we make changes just to win a small round and end up losing ourselves, it wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, so from here on, we'll stick to our plan and move forward steadily. We'll definitely make it to the end. Yeah, let's do our best. Training room. When you first joined the competition, you hadn't expected to make it this far, and you certainly didn't expect the gap between you and the top 5 to narrow so much. After successfully advancing to the semi-finals, the studio boss even called Luke to congratulate him as you two are leaving the venue.
그럼요. 알고 있죠. 제 파트너가 원래 재능이 많거든요. 걱정 마세요. 그때 제가 한 말이 허풍이 아니라는 걸 증명할 테니까 좋은 소식 기다려주세요.
Seeing Luke hang up the phone, you walk up behind him holding 2 bottles of chilled drinks. Boasting?
언제 왔어?
Luke seems not to have noticed your movement and he gets so startled that his phone flies out of his hand. He barely catches it and lets out a sigh of relief. You deliberately put on a meaningful smile, handing him the chilled drink while teasing him playfully. Looks like you've been talking behind my back. What did you say about me?
다 좋은 말만 했어. 모르는 사람도 없겠지만 작업실 사장님한테 네 재능을 칭찬하고 있었다니까?
I'm just messing with you. I heard everything you said. Smiling, you twist off the bottle cap and sip the refreshing orange juice, still watching Luke with keen interest. But what was that boosting you mentioned on the phone?
그게...
Just as the drink bottle reaches his lips, Luke stops seemingly a bit embarrassed and scratches his neck.
아마 내가 재즈 드럼을 배우기 시작했을 때일 거야. 어떤 작은 대회에 참가했었는데 그때 뽑은 곡도 손태율 선생님의 곡이었어. 해안가 불꽃이라고 사랑하는 사람이랑 같이 항구에서 불꽃놀이를 감상하는 걸 표현한 곡이야.
Huh? Watching fireworks together on the dock with a loved one. You slowly widen your eyes while Luke, as if lost in a memory, lets his gaze softly fall to the mouth of the drink bottle, watching the small bubble fizzing up inside.
그땐 실력이 부족해서 내가 이해하고 느낀 대로만 곡을 연주했었거든. 근데 오히려 뛰어난 이해력 때문에 두 사람이 연주해야 좋은 노래가 단조로워져서 결국 상대한테 져버렸어. 대회가 끝나고 사장님이 위로해 주셨는데 패배를 인정할 수가 없더라고. 만약 내가 파트너랑 참가해서 둘이 같이 연주했으면 분명 내가 이겼겠지?
She smiles faintly and takes a small sip of orange juice. You reach out and gently place your hand over him. Now that we're participating together, everything will be fine.
응, 맞아. 그래서 이번에 같이 참가하게 된 것만으로도 행운이라고 생각해.
As long as we go all the way to the end, we can perform Mr. Spencer's piece together, and we can make up for all the regrets this time.
사실 이제는 별로 아쉽지 않아. 이번에는 새로 만든 곡을 주시겠지? 아직 들어보진 않았지만 왠지 그 곡이 다른 형식으로 모든 걸 원만하게 만들어줄 것 같아.
Luke smiles and gently claps your hand, the warmth of the memories flowing between your palms.
그 전에 일단 더 노력해서 끝까지 올라가 봐야지.
Sure. This time, you are determined to reach the perfect conclusion. Competition venue. In the new round of the competition, you lose a small amount of points due to some unexpected mistakes. By now, you've already learned to face all setbacks calmly and quickly adjust your mindset for the next round. However, this time there is something really unpleasant on stage which makes you feel a bit upset while organizing the music sheets for Luke. It's just an amateur competition. Why do they have to go this far? That's their style. I heard they've done similar things in the previous rounds too. In the last round, while playing the climax of the piece, Luke accidentally loses his grip on his drumsticks. It's a very minor mistake, but Luke reacted quickly and corrected himself on the spot. However, your opponents immediately start to mock you from the audience, making exaggerated gestures imitating Luke's mistake. But it's also my fault. If I hadn't been so excited back there, I wouldn't have made that mistake. It's not your fault. I've made mistakes in previous competitions too. There's room for improvement, we just need to work on it. I'm just upset with our opponents from earlier. They deliberately booed you from the sidelines and keep mimicking your mistakes. This kind of behavior, repeatedly humiliating someone for their mistake, might seem funny to them, but in reality, it only highlights their lack of class. You understand that not everyone has grace, and not everyone can maintain a friendly attitude. But when Luke is treated with such contempt, you can't help but get angry. It's okay, let's forget about them for now. After all, the competition isn't over, and we still have our drumsticks. We'll let our skills do the talking for all the dissatisfaction and unfairness. Seeing Luke's hands tightly gripping the drumsticks, you nod, feeling energized. You won't argue with them or try to reason with them. If they won't treat their opponents politely, then you won't give them the chance to disrespect you. You're right, we still have to compete with them next. You reach out your hand holding the drumsticks and speak firmly to Luke. We'll beat them and show them our grace. That's right. After bumping fists with you, Luke grabs the music sheet and the soundproof pad, and you both begin preparing for the next round. You will definitely work hard to win back the points you lose. After triumphing the semifinals, the highly anticipated finals is about to begin. As Luke mentioned earlier, the stage for the final competition is set up in an outdoor area of the park. And today, the final performance track will be personally announced by the special guest Mr. Lionel Spencer.
오늘 참가하신 분들이 우승을 위해 노력하는 모습을 볼 수 있어서 정말 기쁘네요. 제가 마음을 담아 만든 이 곡을 두 팀에게 격려의 의미로 드리겠습니다. 대회가 끝나도 계속 연주하면서 다들 삶을 즐기시기를 바랍니다.
As the words drop, the curtain behind him reveals the title of the new song, His and Her Summer. Look! You cover your mouth in surprise, then you quickly look at Luke, who is showing a satisfied smile. Did you already know that this would be the piece for the finals?
몰랐어. 그렇게 공정한 사장님이 문제를 알려주실 리가 없잖아. 게다가 신곡인데 미리 알았으면 깜짝 놀랄 일도 없었지. 대신 선생님이 천진난만한 아이들을 주제로 작곡하는 걸 좋아하시고 대회에서 하이라이트 부분에 그런 곡을 내실 거라는 걸 알고 있었어. 그게 내가 선생님을 좋아하는 이유이기도 해.
Huh? While you two are talking, all the event information has been announced. Luke gently takes your hand and leads you toward the indoor arena as he continues speaking.
그땐 우리가 사귀기 아니, 다시 만나기 전이었지. 선생님의 곡을 들으면 항상 너도 그렇고 너랑 같이 보낸 즐거운 시간들이 떠올랐어. 네가 옆에 없을 때 선생님의 곡을 들으면 추억들이 생각나서 혼돈 속 희망 같은 존재였달까?
I see. After all the twists and turns, your thoughts and emotions return to that very first piece, Midsummer Bonfire. Not only are the piece itself and the performance techniques impressive, but what truly moves Luke about Mr. Spencer's composition is the fleeting, unreachable memory. It is the most precious treasure between you two.
그래서 기회가 생긴 지금 너랑 같이 공연하고 싶어. 마음속에 담아놨던 꿈을 현실로 만들고 싶기도 해.
That small, unspoken dream deep in your heart can finally respond to Luke's years of expectation. You gently hold Luke's finger, gaze at him seriously, and nod. Of course, and you've also said before, the key to a duet in jazz drums is musical understanding and synergy. For his and her summer, we must perform it with the most perfect understanding.
그래, 이번에는 꼭 최선을 다해야지.
For the promise he made years ago and to live up to all the years of pursuit and effort.
이 곡을 같이 연주하면서 예전 이야기도 하고 싶어.
Competition venue. Like in the semifinals, the finals is also a best of 5 format. But this time, you find yourselves in a tough battle in the first round and end up losing. There's nothing we can do, their technique score is just too high. That female drummer's double bass technique, I feel like I could spend a whole year learning it. After the match, you exchange compliments with the other team when greeting each other. You are glad that the female drummer happily agrees to teach you her skills, but for the next match, you will need to come up with a different approach. After all, you've reached the finals, and in the clash of hard skills, even Luke isn't immune to a tough fight. How about for the next round, let me give improvisation a try? You want to improvise? Do you have an idea in mind? Yeah, I have some thoughts on this piece. No matter the result, we've made it to the finals. I'd like to give myself a chance to showcase my skills. Luke once said that since it's Mr. Spencer's piece, what matters more than technique is understanding and empathy. If you can't win through technique, you'll have to focus on improving the latter. And in terms of understanding and empathy, you're confident that you can reach the peak. Of course, after all, it's his and her summer. I'm curious to see your interpretation of this piece. Luke doesn't seem to mind your skills. He seems simply happy that you resonate with the piece. Don't worry about the outcome of the competition and just do whatever you want to do. All my wishes have already been fulfilled. From here on, I'll do my best to support you. Okay. Competition venue. After winning a point back, your opponent quickly adjusts their strategy and wins the third round. According to the rules, from the elimination round onward, you can adjust the sheet music, add variations, and make changes after the second round. So, after losing this round, Luke and you immediately start preparing for the next round with urgency. This revision feels a bit too similar to what our opponent did earlier. Given the situation, should we try to avoid such revision? Yeah, boy, the performance was just too good. I can't help but keep thinking about that drum score. Luke scratches his head in frustration, looking conflicted. You quickly comfort him by holding his hand and straightening out his messy hair. The piece is really hard to change, but don't take it out on your hair. You worked so hard on that cool hairstyle today. But I really don't have any good ideas. And our opponent is so strong. After repeatedly going through your previous preparations, Luke seems a little downtrodden. I originally planned to use Plan 4 as a safety net to bring it out on the final round if the opponent was strong. But now it seems like we'll need to bring it forward to the next round. But if we use Plan 4 earlier, we'll need to come up with an even better plan to win the decisive round. Although the thought process is clear, it means you have to not only beat your opponents but also overcome the version of yourself from a few days ago. I wasn't expecting this. Now we're like the protagonists of a shonen manga, with the final opponent being our mirror selves. Now that you mention it, that's a pretty fitting way to put it. After you distract him, Luke can't help but smile. The atmosphere lightens, and after a brief moment, a flash of inspiration hits you. Speaking of manga, look, I suddenly feel like we should change our strategy. Change our strategy? Yeah, do you remember the group from the previous competition that turned a simple piece into a humorous rendition? Of course, I really like their arrangement. But don't you think our piece might not be suitable for that kind of direction? Exactly, our piece definitely shouldn't turn into something humorous. What I mean is, let's tweak this piece to fit our own style. To put it another way, this time we don't have to interpret the story from Mr. Spencer's perspective and tell the story he intended. How about we use his and her summer to tell our own story? I get it. You won't add excessive embellishment to the technique, nor try to follow the creator's original vision too closely. Simply tell a story with warmth, joy, regret, and luck, a story about the summer of Shiraira and Luke. I'm glad we finally made our dream of performing together come true. This joy and luck are something we should share with everyone when the time is right. Let's do that. After handing you the pen, Luke sits next to you with the music sheet and you both study it carefully. This time, let's throw aside the bonus point rules and truly tell everyone our story. Yes. Because of this competition, you and Luke have a rare experience. Now, it's time to bring everything to a close. Outdoor Stadium.
긴 대회 끝에 최종 팀 점수가 전달됐는데요. 이제 제가 심사위원을 대표해 발표하도록 하겠습니다. 이번 아마추어 재즈 드럼 대회 듀엣 우승자는
As the team name is announced, you and Luke almost simultaneously throw aside the drumsticks you have been holding tightly for so long, cheering as you embrace each other. Waves of cheers surge from the competition stage and the audience, crashing over you both in a thrilling embrace. That's great!
그래, 우리가 해냈어. 우리가 이겼으니까 울지 마.
I'm just touched. Without thinking, both you and Luke instinctively reach up, hastily wiping away your tears, yet your vision remains blurred.
자, 축하해요.
Through tear-filled eyes, a trophy is handed to you and Luke.
이것 봐. 우리가 드디어 우승했어.
Outdoor stadium. The moment you lift the trophy, you are overwhelmed with mixed emotions. All the experiences since the competition, every drop of sweat from practice, every sensation from hitting the drum, and the emotions and tension building up in your heart. All of it is in this moment, pressing heavily into the palm of your hand with the weight of the trophy. Carrying the trophy off stage, Mr. Spencer calls out to you, his face beaming with a smile.
두 분 다 아마추어 선수고 이 여성분은 재즈 드럼을 배운 지 얼마 안 됐다고 들었어요. 여러분이 자랑스럽고 이 트로피를 받을 자격이 충분하다고 생각해요.
You're too kind, Mr. Spencer.
맞아요. 선생님의 곡 덕분에 저희가 지금까지 열심히 달려올 수 있었어요.
곡을 두 분만의 이야기로 풀어내다니 저도 영광이었어요. 앞으로 기회가 된다면 또 두 분이 제 곡을 연주하는 걸 듣고 싶네요.
After shaking hands and bidding farewell to Mr. Spencer, the next person to approach is the owner of the Murphy Studio, who invites you both to join the celebration banquet.
파티 시작까지 아직 시간이 좀 있으니까 괜찮겠네. 우리는 아직 할 일이 남았거든.
Matters? What matters?
뭐 지금까지의 여정을 마무리하는 일이랄까? 따라와.
Training room. After leaving the competition venue, Luke leads you through the streets, and to your surprise, you end up at the practice studio where you've been staying during this time. Hey Luke, this drum set too?
그것도 여기로 옮기면 돼.
Under Luke's direction, you both move a set of almost entirely dust-covered drum kits from the warehouse. They have completely faded drum heads, and the edges are heavily worn. But after a few minutes of effort, Luke assembles them back into their once pristine shape. It looks pretty old, but the quality and craftsmanship are excellent.
맞아. 여기서 꿈이 시작됐거든.
Huh? As you watch Luke gently caress the drum head, his eyes fill with nostalgia, a sudden realization washes over you. This drum set was what you used when you first started learning.
맞아. 그리고 해안가 불꽃도 이걸로 연주했었지.
After wiping the dust off the drum heads and cymbals with the tissue, Luke picks up the drumsticks and taps the drum heads a couple of times. The sound of the drums is crisp and pleasant. It's like your memories, perhaps temporarily forgotten, but when recalled, they always bring a sense of surprise and strength.
그때의 해안가 불꽃에는 감정이 담겨 있었지만 외로워 보여서 실패했어. 근데 다행히
Fortunately, everything today completes the circle. Picking up Luke's other old drumstick, you gently tap the drum 3 times. The power that transcends time creates ripples in the air and ignites a spark of hope in your heart. You smile at Luke and suddenly speak up. Even though we won the championship today, I still feel like it wasn't enough.
부족하다고?
Yeah, I still feel a little on cloud 9 with enough energy to perform one more. Something like a duet performance of Coastal Fireworks.
그치? 뭔지 알아.
Luke surprises a smile as he bends down, retrieving a stack of dust-covered old sheet music. The paper is slightly yellowed, yet the lively notes and markings dance across the pages, glowing with an irresistible charm.
자, 오래 기다려온 해안가 불꽃이야.
Sure. Each of you sits at your own drum kit, your drumsticks falling in perfect sync onto the drum heads. The clear, crisp beats ring out like the first burst of fireworks blooming joyfully overhead. As the performance progresses, the beats speed up and the intensity increases, the duet effect igniting a sky full of fireworks in front of a midsummer bonfire. Finally, in the lingering warmth of his and her summer, the coastal fireworks bloom as expected, bursting forth in a passionate display.